In downtown Greensboro, there stands what seems to be a classical temple. Its weathered stone, tall columns, and Greek elements along the roofline look like something out of ancient Europe. To most who pass it, it's just one of those old, aging downtown buildings. But to Greensboro historian Benjamin Briggs and the local Masons, it's a lot more.
The Greensboro Masonic Temple is one of the most amazing Masonic buildings in North Carolina. There were many built in the 1920s when North Carolina had a great deal of wealth. There were notable temples in Winston-Salem and Charlotte. Both of those have been destroyed. But the Greensboro Temple remains today as one of the few of sort of a classical temple form structure. As people entered the building from West Market Street, they would have been greeted by a very formal space that is unique in being decorated with a tile floor. But what makes the space here in this building unique in North Carolina is that the tiles are arranged with a stylized blue flower shape. The blue flower was supposed to represent forget-me-nots, which was a symbol during Nazi occupation of Germany of Masonic culture and Masonic society. The Masons were outlawed during Nazi Germany. This was a way that they could communicate their solidarity and their membership to each other in sort of a secret way.
The floor plans were designed around a hierarchy of space, from the columns, the seating layout, floor tiles, and where a seat was placed.
So you can tell the importance and role that people play within the society by their seated position within the interior space. Beyond that, other symbolic elements include the arrangement of 3 pilasters along the southern wall of the building. This is meant to be representative of the temples that you would find in Southern Europe. So it's all highly ceremonial and highly symbolic. On the top floor of the building is the Scottish Rite room, which was a ceremonial space in its own right. That interior space is likely one of the most highly decorated interior spaces in Greensboro. The stage of the Scottish Rite room enjoys backdrops that were hand-painted in the 1920s to represent various pastoral themes that might be dropped behind some of the plays and productions that were put on by the Masons to teach sort of moral tales. That was part of their practice and part of their reason. These screens are 80 years old. I don't know of any others like them left in North Carolina. They're incredibly well preserved, incredibly well done. The quality is high, and the detail is very enjoyable to look at.
Continuing the Egyptian connection, there are sphinxes guarding both sides of the stage, along with columns that stretch upward to their papyrus capitals that branch out toward the ceiling.
And it just remains a very functional space, but highly decorated and a highly significant interior for Greensboro.
But with the cost of upkeep on the property rising year after year, the Masons have looked at possibly selling it, but not to just anyone. They would want the building preserved for almost what it is. So that is where Community Theater of Greensboro steps in. Community Theater of Greensboro is coming up on its 60th anniversary, and Mitchell Summers has been its executive director for 20 years. So 2009 marks a milestone for Community Theater and for Summers.
So we find it quite ironic and yet quite wonderful that as we're approaching our 60th anniversary, there is this opportunity to purchase this beautiful Greensboro Masonic Temple.
Summers, who is used to bouncing around Greensboro for performance space, was taken by surprise when Masonic connections led him to the Greensboro Masonic Temple.
And then we came walking into this gorgeous Scottish Rite room, and it absolutely took my breath away, and I was shocked because not only does it have seating and it's very beautiful, it even has fly space, which nobody has in an institution unless you are a theater. So it's quite amazing how I've learned that the Masons are very theatrical, because in the Scottish Rite room, when they have the ceremony, it included props and scenery and music and staging. So we have this beautiful stage with these exquisite backdrops that have been painted in the 1920s.
With the Egyptian motif in the Scottish Rite room, it only seemed fit to go with that theme for their first show in 2005, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Summers comments on how well the ambience of the room helps add so much to the production.
We did in December the best Christmas pageant ever. We used the whole room. It was very, very successful. We actually sold out every performance for that, and I'm particularly excited. In January, we'll be presenting as part of Black History Month, A Raisin in the Sun, and we'll be doing it right where I'm standing, but we'll be doing it in three-quarter round or in thrust. I want to see how the audience responds to a more intimate setting where the action is happening right in the center and you're surrounding all of the actors.
As CTG has grown into multiple theater groups, it helps to have secondary performance and rehearsal space. And with the offering of the Masonic Temple, the Blue Lodge offers up the perfect location for such a need and will allow the group to try new and exciting things. The Masons have been concerned about what will happen to their temple in the future. They fear that if someone else bought the property, they might tear down the building for the land. They want the temple preserved. And with CTG, it allows the Masons to still use the building and to leave its treasures intact for appreciation and decoration.
With the guidance of a lot of wonderful people here in the community, from the foundations and the leadership, and the Masons really, really wanting CTG to be here, we are actually at this moment in negotiations to figure out how we can make this work, that we can get in here in a way that is sensitive to the financial times, and it's something that it hasn't been in a long, long time, and that is restored, spruced up, vibrant, and in use by a lot of organizations in the community that will really love being in this facility. The people of Greensboro have really enriched my life and the life of my family, and I kind of feel like this is, though it's not me when I say me, but it's my way of giving a gift back to Greensboro, to all the children who pass through our program. There are more children to come, the families and people that have appreciated what you have done, the people who love this town as well, that this will be an amazing addition to the life of Greensboro, and I would love to be part of that.